What's new? Got anything for the afternoon edition?
No, nothing new.
Fella King, his nemesis, is out here.
Now, Miss Logan, maybe you'd better drop back a little later. Cap Street's tied up on a very important case.
It's all right.
An important case, huh?
So the boys get a fast call. Put in a wreck the car, and when they get down there, it's just another family quarrel.
Hello, Bill.
How many times have I told you not to bust in my office?
I can shout louder than you can, Bill Street. I want some news.
Of course, you know Miss Bobby Logan of the Herald. Little gal gets all the medals for digging up the bodies. Check with those fingerprints, will you?
Right. Well, goodbye.
A polite policeman. Oh, come on, Bill. Give me a story. You know I've got to have something for the afternoon edition.
Everything is peaceful and quiet. I have nothing for the afternoon edition. Now, scram.
Captain, the coroner phoned. They've just taken Dan Grady to the morgue. They fished him out of the bay about an hour ago. Murdered.
Oh, he's going to take this pretty hard, Mike.
Sure. Him and Dan were just like brothers.
Yes, I know.
What makes you think they tried to hide his body, Doc?
Well, in the first place, when word was found, washed ashore down the bay. Lungs were collapsed. That means the body was under water pressure for some time. This was tied around the ankles, and there were deep bruises.
Tied a weight on him and threw him overboard.
That's right, Bill. After the bullets had done their work.
Yeah. Did you get them over to ballistics?
Mm-hmm. There's a clothes he had on. Take a look.
Seaman's outfit. Andy, check these clothes and see if you can find out where he bought them. Thanks a lot, Doc. I'll check with you later about Dan.
Hi, Bill.
This hits the whole department with a jolt, Bill.
Hit me a little harder than the rest. Dan and I were together as kids. Took our training together. Pounded the same beat.
Yes, I know.
You say he was on a smuggling detail.
Yes.
That ought to lead us to something.
Nothing unless he was following a hot trail. You know Grady. He always preferred to work lone wolf on a case.
Well, it's in my department now, Chief. It's homicide.
Yes, and you have command of every resource of the department.
I may need it. Because I'm going to find out who killed Grady if it's the last thing I do.
I know you will, Bill. And good luck.
Thanks.
Gee, Bill, I'm sorry. I wish I could help.
Thanks, Bobby. It's funny, but somehow I can't realize it.
Does his wife know?
Molly? No, not yet. Poor kid. Say, you can help me at that if you want to.
Of course. Anything.
Go on out to Molly's and break it to her as easy as you can.
She doesn't know me very well. You're the one to tell her.
Oh, it's a woman's job.
Okay, Bill.
I came just as soon as I heard the news.
Am I glad, Wong? I sure can use you. Unfortunately, I can't call you in on this case officially. I'm more or less doing it on my own.
I'll do everything I can to help. Dan Grady was my friend, too.
Thanks. You know what it means to me.
Well, not too fast with your thanks. You know, the only reason I've been useful in the past was because in each case the Orient was involved.
Well, Dan Grady was assigned to the smuggling detail. And smuggling in San Francisco means the Orient. Let's have a look at his office.
Good.
Wife and kid.
You say he was working on a smuggling detail?
Yes, sort of a roving commission. The reason they gave it to Dan is because he was born and raised here in San Francisco. He knew every nook and cranny.
But But the seaman's clothes would indicate that he was working on something at the waterfront.
Yeah, but what?
Whoa, look here. What is that?
Why, that's a rare piece of emerald jade, as fine a specimen as I've ever seen. Carved in the fashion of the Ming dynasty. Why, the art of that carving has been lost for hundreds of years. This piece is worth $2,000 or $3,000.
Really? Dan was sure working on something hot.
Probably that's why he was killed.
Yes, I have seen many similar in the past 3 months.
From the captured provinces.
Even so, from the ruined temple of Lao Ji, is it not so? Torn from their settings by alien hands. Even young China would not use such methods to win its wars. Where did you obtain this?
It was in the drawer of the desk of the policeman who was killed.
A policeman?
A good man. Can you help me?
A store called Belton's is on Market Street. There, a wise man could become more wise.
How do you do? I'm Mr. Belden. Something I can do for you?
I'd like an appraisal on this piece.
Why, certainly. A most unusual piece. The coloring is magnificent. But I'm afraid I can't appraise its real value.
But I understood you specialized in Oriental jewelry and art objects.
No, only imitations. We haven't a piece of jewelry in the house worth over $50. I'm afraid you've come to the wrong place.
So it would seem.
Morning, Dan.
I suggest you try Harrington's over on Kearney. They handle that class of merchandise.
Thank you for your time.
Not at all. I'm sorry I couldn't help you.
Yeah, Chief, that's the guy, all right. I'd know that face any place. Why, that mustache. Even the checkered tie. Yeah, it's him.
Checkered tie, huh?
Yeah.
Where'd you see him?
On the bus going uptown.
What time was it?
12 o'clock noon.
12 o'clock noon, huh? You don't say.
Yeah.
At that time, he'd been lying dead for 3 hours in the morgue.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why, I'd have sworn on a stack of Bibles that was the guy.
Sure, I know, Mr. Unifer. We all make mistakes sometimes, so thanks for coming in anyway.
Oh, not at all, Inspector. Not at all. Say, maybe it was the guy's double.
Yeah.
You know, they say every guy's got a double.
Sure.
Even me.
Sure.
Even you.
Yeah, sure. Mike, get Bobby Logan on the phone.
Yes, sir. Market 6400.
Hello, Bobby. I was just trying to get you on the phone.
Oh, are we going someplace?
Yeah, you're going someplace. If you ever pull a bright idea like that again.
Well, what's the matter with that? Somebody might be able to give you a lead.
Somebody might be able to give me a lead. I've had every crank in San Francisco in here this afternoon. Yeah.
Logan doesn't answer. Where do you think I ought to look for her?
Try my office.
Huh?
Every one of them have seen Dan Grady in 5 different sections of the city at the same time.
Well, but it...
But nothing. You see that guy that just went out of here?
Yes.
He was on the bus today at noon with Dan.
Well, that's silly.
Of course it's silly. But I've had to talk to those goofs. That's what your idea's done. Wasted my whole afternoon. Yeah, Mike.
A gentleman out here says he saw Detective Grady.
What? Miss Logan will interview him. Well, did you hear it?
Just faintly.
Go on, he's your witness.
Are you Mr. Lyons?
Yes.
Oh, I'm Miss Logan of the Herald. I put that picture in the paper.
Oh, how do you do? Well, I saw the man last night.
Are you sure?
Certainly. We talked for quite a while in the bar at the Club Neptune.
Good afternoon, Miss Logan. I came in answer to your advertisement.
Oh, now look, Mr. Wong. Now give me the details and talk fast.
Oh, hello, Wong. Did you get any information?
I called on an old friend of mine in Chinatown who advised me to investigate Belden's store on Market Street.
Belden's?
You know, the jewelry shop.
Oh, sure. I'll put a couple of men on it.
No, I think I'd leave things the way they are for the time being.
Bill Street, I've got him!
Got who?
This man did see Dan Grady. Ask
Now,
him.
look, Bobby, we've been all through that.
But this man is positive.
All right, if he's so positive. What was he wearing when you saw him?
Well, sort of like a sailor, you know, pea jacket, striped sweater. He had on dungarees, peak cap with black patent leather visor.
Where'd you see him?
At the Club Neptune. He was sitting at the bar having a drink.
What time was that?
About 8:30, I guess.
That fits in, doesn't it, Wong?
Yes, it does.
Well, of course it does. Silly idea, huh? If it hadn't been for that
Quiet.
picture in the paper.
You're quite sure this is the man? You're absolutely certain of your identification?
Oh, yes. My drink happened to tip over and spilt on him. And I apologized, and we got to talking.
And then what happened?
Well, we talked together for a couple of minutes about football and things like that. Then I left and went home.
You left him at this Club Neptune?
Yes, he was still sitting there when I left.
Well, thank you very much. You've been a great help.
Is there any reward connected with this?
Well, you see, Miss Logan takes care of that.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Lyons. I'm afraid there's no reward, but, well, I'd be very glad to mention your name in my next story of the case. Did you say your first name was Homer?
Yes, Homer. Lyons.
Thank you. Too bad you haven't got a picture.
Oh, I have. I brought one along just in case.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Lyons.
Thank you. Good day.
Well, Bill Street, do I get an apology or don't I?
Sure, I'm going to get the mayor to give you a key to the city.
Terrific. The police thank the Herald for giving them their only clue. How's that, Mr. Wong?
Not nearly strong enough. You've earned our undying gratitude.
Well, I hope the information is some use to you.
I'll see you later.
Not me, Flatfoot. Get one of the nurses out of the receiving hospital. They don't mind a pain in the neck.
Hey, you think that's a bad idea?
Well, now, Street, just what do you know about the Club Neptune?
Oh, not much, Wong. We better have dinner together. I'll take you down there later. I want to talk to this Harry Lockett.
Harry Lockett?
Yeah, he's the fellow that owns the Club Neptune. Hardway Harry, they call him.
Hardway? Oh, a gambler.
Yeah, gambler, smuggler, crook, everything.
Anything new?
No.
How are things upstairs?
Usual crowd, not much play yet.
Has Tanya come in yet tonight?
No.
I want to see her when she comes in.
Okay.
All right. Get it.
Two dry martinis, huh? Well, don't you recognize anything?
What?
I'll bet you don't even know what day this is.
Of course I do. It's Friday. That's why you insisted upon coming here for a fish dinner.
Oh, no, it isn't. We came here because this is an anniversary.
Who is it?
Tanya's here, but she's got young Belden with her.
Huh. She's starting that over again, eh? Bring her in here.
Okay.
Listen, Tanya, I've been lying awake nights planning our future together. I realize that I haven't much to offer you, but I'll try awfully hard to make you happy.
Oh, excuse me, Frank. I think I better go fix my makeup.
Surely.
What do you want?
I thought I told you to keep away from young Belden.
And I told you that my personal affairs are none of your business.
What are you trying to do? Get the old man on our neck? Keep away from that boy or I'll...
Or what? I guess if I'm good enough to help handle his smuggled junk, to run the risks that he cashes in on, I'm fit company for his son.
Well, what about a certain other gentleman?
Frank Belden wants to marry me.
So, he's got a bed, eh? Wait until his old man hears that.
If you open your mouth to make trouble for that boy...
So blow me down. You have really fallen for it.
Maybe. Or maybe it's just the novelty of finding someone who's decent and on the level.
Come on, have some sense. Get the boyfriend out of here and keep him out. We're not in any spot to invite trouble, girlie.
I seem to have developed a headache, Frank. Maybe it was the drink.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, maybe some fresh air will do you good. Shall we take a drive?
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Well, ain't it grand we can all be together? Tommy, give me my usual. You know, the good old duck. Well, I know you. You're Logan of the Herald. Don't you remember me? I'm the guy you wrote about in that automobile accident. You know, in those days, I was a drinking man.
Aren't you gonna have your dinner?
What dinner?
The one you ordered.
I ordered dinner?
I'm sure you did.
Well, skip it. And
You know you can handle your drinks better if you have something to eat.
I think you got something there. Don't go away. You know, I always forget to eat when I go out stepping.
I'm awfully sorry.
Oh, that's all right. He was just feeling hospitable.
That's easy to understand. The Club Neptune feels the same way, Miss Logan.
Gee whiz, I'm famous.
Who would recognize that pretty face of yours if they read the Herald? I'm Harry Lockett.
I'm very glad to meet you. I've heard a lot about you and your Club Neptune.
So it seems, judging from today's Herald.
Oh, you don't sound pleased.
I'm not. I don't like that publicity.
You don't?
No. How about we chat in my office?
Why not?
I think I'll take a look round the back. All right, I'll see you inside.
You see, Miss Logan, we don't like newspaper people around here.
I see your point. You know, if you had this place soundproof, those poker chips up there wouldn't make such a racket. Just a little friendly advice.
Thanks. And here's some for you. I wouldn't write any more stories about the Club Neptune if I were you.
Are you trying to tell me what to put in the Herald?
I'm trying to tell you what you shouldn't put in the Herald. In fact, I'd just as soon you stay out of here. I think you'd be safer. Sometimes some people get hurt.
Yeah, Dan Grady got hurt, didn't he?
Hey, you sure stick out your neck, don't you, little girl? Who is it?
Captain Street. What are you doing here?
Mr. Lockett was just making some suggestions as to the news policy of the Herald.
All right, Bobby.
Well, now look here, Bill.
Come on, come on. Hello, Hardaway.
Oh, Copper. Have a drink?
No, thanks.
What's on your mind, Street?
I suppose you read about Dan Grady.
Oh, yes, that's too bad. I don't think I knew him.
I thought everybody on the waterfront knew Grady. He was on the smuggling detail. It's funny you didn't run into him.
I resent that, Street.
I resent what happened to Dan Grady. Quit stalling, Hardway. He was in this place last night at 8:30 at your bar.
Well, maybe he was. So what a lot of other people. We had a big night last night.
And nobody saw Dan Grady.
None of my boys did, because as soon as I saw the papers, I asked all of them. You can talk to them yourself.
Maybe I will.
Cigarette? Over there.
I don't pay any attention to me if I seem a little tough, Harry. Dan happened to be a pal of mine. His body washed up on the beach this morning. Been in the water for 12 hours. Kind of a tough way to go, isn't it?
Well, Street, they say that drowning, it's an easy death.
But Grady had 2 slugs in the back of his neck before he ever hit that water. That's not so easy, is it?
Well, Street, if there is anything I can do for you...
Open that door. Open that door.
Well, hello, Street.
How'd you get in there?
The secret stairway in the haunted house.
Secret stairway, my eye. Those stairs were there when we bought the place.
But they still serve a very useful purpose.
This is Hardway Harry Lockett, Mr. Wong.
Oh, the Chinese copper.
Precisely, Mr. Lockett. The Chinese copper. But to return to our secret stairway, I'm afraid we scared one of your callers away. Evidently, he didn't care to meet my friend, Captain Street.
Seafood is our specialty, Mr. Wong. That was probably Cap from the fishing barge. He saw I was busy and beat it.
That very adequately describes his exit.
He comes in that way because he doesn't like to go through the cafe. Close to the...
Slightly fishy, Mr. Lockett.
Very fishy. Now get this, Hardway. If I find out that anything happened to Grady in this place, I'm going to tear it apart.
If you ever do, I'll help you.
Come on, Wong.
Goodbye, Mr. Lockett.
Goodbye, Mr. Wong.
Oh, sorry. Didn't know you were busy.
He's not. Because we're just leaving. I beg your pardon, but we've met before, haven't we, Miss...
Serova's the name, but we haven't met.
I'm so sorry. Oh, now I know what prompted my mistake. I saw you sitting outside in a car with young Mr. Belden.
What was he doing here?
We had dinner here. Do you mind?
Excuse the boys, Miss Serova, but it's their business to be curious. This is Mr. Wong, the famous detective. And this is Captain Street of the San Francisco Police.
Your head waiter says you found my compact.
Yes, it's my desk. I'll get it for you. Drop in any time, boys.
It'll be your turn to drop in on us the next time.
You're a help. Why in blaze didn't you get rid of Belden when I told you to?
Well, I did. He must have seen us outside in the parking lot. What they want?
You read the papers, don't you? What do you think?
I think that dead policemen are bad medicine. I don't like it, Harry.
Relax. They haven't got a thing on us. So Grady was here last night. What does that prove?
That the party's getting too rough for yours truly.
So, don't tell me Miss Serova's getting jittery, huh?
Serova's getting out. Murder's something I don't want any part of. I'm through.
Oh, no, you're not. When you're through, it will be because I tell you you're through.
Are you threatening me?
Maybe.
Don't do it, Harry. I know too much.
Things happen to people who know too much.
Yes. They end up in the bay like a certain policeman.
That seafood gag of Hardway's was a hot one.
And the young lady who lost her compact. More seafood, eh, Street?
I'll say.
Well, what's her name?
I thought I told you to scram.
You're always telling me to scram.
Well, you're not gonna ride in a police car.
Okay, let me out and I'll put on my roller skates.
Oh.
I tell you, I don't like the setup. I don't like any part of it. When a dead copper spells trouble, and if this girl starts to talk... Yeah. Yeah, I think so, too.
But this idea of mine is something entirely new in radio, Mr. Forbes.
Nevertheless, I'm against continuing the program.
But Forbes, Belden's has had a radio program for years, and it's been excellent advertising.
Not excellent enough to keep you out of the receivership. I represent the creditors, and I cannot approve the expenditure.
But, Mr. Forbes, I'm sure this new idea of mine will create a lot of interest. That means customers for Belden's.
I can only judge by past performance, Mr. Griswold. Results have not warranted the expense. They all here?
Yes.
Oh, but, Mr. Forbes, this is a novelty, a complete one-act play in which I enact all the roles, male and female. You see, Mr. Forbes, impersonation is my forte.
I think persistence is your forte.
Well, I tell you, this is the type of program that's bound to create comment.
Why not give it a chance?
Just glance through this and you'll get the idea. After the commercial, the music fades out and you hear footsteps and a knock. Now, read from there on.
Pretty melodramatic, isn't it?
But that's the kind of stuff they like nowadays, Mr. Forbes. The highly dramatic programs are the most successful.
Suppose we try it for a couple of weeks. It wouldn't cost a fortune, and it might get results.
Well, all right, we'll try it.
Well, thanks, Mr. Forbes. I'm sure you won't be sorry. We go on from 10 to 10:15 tonight. I hope you're listening in.
We will.
Those bills are all right. I'll see you in the morning. Hello, Frank.
Hello, Mr. Forbes. How you feeling, Dad?
Oh, as well as could be expected, considering the fact that I don't have anything to say about my own business.
When are you going to take me in with you?
Not for a while yet.
But, Dad, I've got to go to work. I've got to make some money.
Isn't your allowance enough?
No. I'm going to get married.
Who to? That Serova woman?
Miss Serova, yes. How did you know?
I haven't taken my eyes off you completely. You've been out with that adventuress every night for a month.
I wouldn't talk like that if I were you, Dad. We're both liable to be sorry for it. Besides, it won't change my decision.
Frank, I won't permit you to wreck your life, to throw away your entire future for the sake of that scheming, unscrupulous...
That's enough! I'm sorry you feel that way about it, Dad, but there's nothing you can do about it.
You'll never marry that woman. Do you understand? Never!
Morning, Sophie. Everything shipshape?
No sign of the police, if that's what you mean.
Oh, why, Sophie, that's the farthest thing from my mind. Bring me the checks from last night, eh?
Okay.
Hey, have you been fooling around my desk?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wouldn't touch your stuff, boss. Something missing?
Yeah, my gun.
Gee, that ain't so good. When'd you last see it, boss?
I don't know. Yesterday, I guess.
I want to talk to you.
Say, what are you thinking of coming down here after what's happened? I told you I'd get the stuff to you as soon as it was safe or kept to bring it in.
That isn't why I'm here. I want to know what that Serova woman is doing running around with my son.
Well, I did my best. You know, after all, it's not such a bad idea, sort of a close corporation.
Are you mad? My boy has no part in all this. I went into it because it was the only hope I had of saving my business, of meeting my obligations, but not to the extent of wrecking his life, and that's what this marriage would mean.
That's your problem. Right now, I have more important things to do than nurse a lovesick pup.
If you value your neck, you'll do something about it. I'm warning you, Lockett. Before I see this happen to my son, I'll blast everything wide open.
Including yourself?
Including myself.
Uh-huh. I see you. You like the idea of a few months on Alcatraz?
I'll stop at nothing.
Hello. Hello, Tanya. This is Harry. I want to apologize the way I talked to you last night. Oh, you know, I couldn't mean it. We were both a little jittery and unreasonable. Now, listen, Tanya. I want to see you. I have to talk over something with you. I think you'd be interested.
All right. I'll be in all evening. Goodbye.
I hope I didn't keep you waiting, Fancy.
Oh, that's all right, so don't mention it.
Mr. Wong. Mr. Wong!
It's all right, Clancy. He missed me.
Oh, I'm glad of that. Who was it, sir?
I haven't the least idea, but the shot came from there.
Well, we'll find out who that is.
Well, whoever it was, beat it out the back and left the door wide open.
Whoever it was, he killed Mr. Belden.
What? Oh, glory be!
Get straight.
Yes, sir.
This case has got a million angles. If this jade matches the stuff we found in Grady's office, Belden had a fortune hidden away. And I can't understand why he was in receivership.
Well, perhaps he went into this kind of business to get out of receivership.
What's that receiver's name? Maybe he can help us.
A man named Forbes.
You know where he lives?
At the town apartments.
We'll go up and see him. Clancy, call my office and have young Belden picked up. Tell him to hold him till I get there. And wait for the coroner.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, gentlemen.
We want to see Mr. Forbes, John T. Forbes.
Who's calling?
Captain Street of the police department.
Ring 22, please. Captain Street of the police department to see Mr. Forbes. Yes, sir. Go right up, Captain Street. That's number 22.
Captain Street? What on earth can he want? I wonder if I've forgotten a speed ticket. Excuse me. Pray to take my hand, will you?
Okay, but it's 10 o'clock and I'll have to meet Elsie.
Probably won't be very long. Captain Street?
That's right, and it's Mr. Wong.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Come in here, gentlemen.
Thank you. I'm afraid we interrupted your game, Mr. Forbes.
Oh, that's all right. Sit down, gentlemen. I've heard a great deal about you at one time or another, Mr. Wong. I'm certainly glad to meet you.
Thank you.
Well, now, gentlemen, what can I do for you?
Might as well come to the point, Mr. Forbes. Frank Belden Sr. of the firm for which you're receiver was found dead a half an hour ago in his store.
What? Poor old Frank. I had no idea he felt so desperately about it. Of course, I knew his financial affairs were in bad shape.
It was not suicide, Mr. Forbes. He was murdered.
Well, this certainly knocks me out. I've got to have a drink. How about you, gentlemen?
Thank you, no.
Well, thanks.
Murdered. Who found him? Give me more of the details.
Mr. Wong found the body.
Wong? Were you in the store?
I was making an investigation of Belden's stock. I found this piece of jade worth at least $2,000 or $3,000.
And there are several more pieces, too, just as valuable.
I thought they carried only cheap costume jewelry. Could he have been concealing any valuable assets from me?
That's exactly what we wanted to find out.
I'd like to go down to the store and make a complete examination of their stock. Will that be all right?
I think it's a good idea.
Do you have a cigar, gentlemen?
Yes, thanks.
No, thank you.
One more thing, and I think you should know. That jade was smuggled. And one of our own men on the smuggling detail was murdered, running it down. And the trail seems to lead to Belden's store.
Why, this is the worst thing I've ever heard. Excuse me. Hello? Yeah. It's for you.
Thanks. Street speaking.
What? I'll go right up. There's been a shooting on the floor above. Can we get out this way?
Yes.
That's that Serova girl. How do you like this? A murder right over my head. Yeah? Oh, you're the clerk.
Yes, sir. I telephoned headquarters from downstairs.
Thanks. What do you know about this?
Nothing, except what the switchboard operator told me.
What'd she tell you?
Well, I was sitting in the lobby when all of a sudden she started yelling, Miss Serova's being killed.
All right. Take it easy. Sit down. What did you hear on the phone?
Well, I was sitting there as usual when the buzzer sounded, and it was a call from 32.
What time was that?
About 14 after 10.
That's an odd time to remember, 10:14.
Well, I'm not sure, but it was 15 after 10 when I heard the shot. And they were arguing about a minute.
Who was arguing?
Miss Serova and the man.
Well, what were they arguing about? What'd they say?
Well, he said, get away from that telephone. That's the last time you're going to pull that sort of stuff on me. And Miss Serova yelled, don't shoot, don't shoot. But he did.
It's quite possible, Street. The receiver's off the stand.
Yeah. Did you recognize the man's voice?
No, but he was awful mad.
Anybody come through that lobby that might have come up here?
No, sir.
Did you pass anybody on the way up?
I didn't see anybody.
All right, that's all for now. Stick around downstairs. Oh, hello, Doc. Prints, photographs, the works. And I want you to get me that Oh, little Bo Peep, huh? What are you made up for? That's all I need!
Just be sure to get everything in this corner, will you, please?
Hello, Ballard. What are you doing here? I thought I told you to tail Hardway.
I was trailing him. I lost him in the traffic at 8th and Market around 9 o'clock. I've been looking for him ever since.
That's wonderful. Get my office on the phone.
Get me police headquarters.
Hey. Remember the last guy we saw Serova with? Hardway Harry. And he ditched Ballard an hour ago. That's our man.
Just a minute. Hold it, Mike.
Hello, Mike. Hardway ditched Ballard about an hour ago. 8th and Market. Yeah, I want you to send out a couple of men and have him... What? Hardway Harry's been sitting in my office for the last hour. Get her off the phone!
Come on, get off there. Put that...
Hello, Mike. I want you to hold Hardway. I don't care how you hold him, hold him!
Bill LeMay.
Will you stop?
Well, Bill, the housekeeper...
Will you quit picking on me?
Mr. Wong, the housekeeper saw a man sneaking up the back stairs.
Sit down. I'm sorry, who are you?
I'm the maid on this floor.
Well, where were you in this...
She was looking in the door.
Will you be quiet? You say you saw a man coming up the back stairs.
I finished by 10 o'clock. I was going down the back stairs when he came in.
Who came in?
The young man.
What young man?
Mr. Belden.
Belden Jr.
He was in the habit of using the back stairs?
Sometimes.
Then he had his own key?
Yes, sir.
That settles it. Ballard, pick up young Belden.
Good idea.
That's all for now, thanks. You know, Wong, Belden knew Serova. Hardway knew her. They're all mixed up in this thing some way. I'm going to have them all come in my office tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. What am I doing? Sit down, Hardway. See who's out there, Jim. Well, how'd you do?
Not bad. Have pretty good breakfast, you fellows, you know. Thanks for the cigarettes.
Oh, we always take care of our guests. Who's out there?
Nucci and Cap Anderson.
All right, Jim. Couple of friends of yours. What were you doing here last night?
Well, I caught one of your boys following me, and I figured you wanted to make sure where I was. So when he lost me about 9 o'clock, I decided I better check in.
So you'd have an alibi because you knew Tanya Serova was going to be killed last night.
What?
Yeah, murdered last night.
Oh, coming in here wasn't such a bad idea, was it?
What time did you get here?
9:29 on the dot.
Oh, got it figured down to the minute, huh?
Yeah, you can check with the sergeant.
I know.
So?
Hello, Wong.
Oh, Mr. Wong, the Chinese copper. Look here, Street, you haven't got a thing on me. I knew Sorova, sure. She used to come to my place very often. But so do a lot of other people.
Including young Belden.
Yes, with Sorova, yes. So what?
How well did you know young Belden?
Casually.
How well did you know his father?
Just an acquaintance.
When was the last time you saw him?
I saw him in my office yesterday. He came to pay his son's bar bill.
And you had a little quarrel. And then you followed him down to his jewelry store and shot him.
Old man Belden shot?
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it is too bad. He got it the same way Grady got it, in the back of the neck. What's your alibi for that?
I was being trailed by one of your coppers, by good luck.
Why?
A man named Forbes is out here. He said you sent for him.
All right, send him in. Wait outside, Hub. Good morning, Mr. Forbes.
You want to see me, Captain?
Yes. You know Mr. Wong.
Oh, yes. How are you, Mr. Wong?
Forbes. We were kind of interrupted last night, and I'd kind of like to find out what you know about young Belden.
Well, I'm afraid I can't tell you very much. Most of my dealing has been with his father.
Well, what sort of a kid is he?
Well, he's always struck me as being a rather nice sort of a chap. Quiet, well brought up, and... So you don't think for a minute that he had anything to do with his father's murder?
Maybe. I do know he's mixed up in Sorova's death.
Oh, I can't believe that, Captain. Why, it isn't possible.
I'm afraid you're wrong.
There's Belden, Captain. Picked him up in a quick lunch joint, having coffee.
All right, sit down. Have you met Mr. Wong? Perhaps you met him last night.
No, I've never met Mr. Wong. How do you do?
We've been looking for you all night. Where were you?
I don't know why the police should be interested in my movements. What's this all about?
What were you doing in Tanya Sorova's apartment last night? Oh, we know you were there. The maid saw you sneaking up the back way.
If I were you, I'd tell the captain all he wants to know.
Well, I don't know what this is all about, Frank, but you're welcome to my legal advice if I can be of any assistance to you. For his father's sake, I feel that I ought to do everything I can to protect him.
All right. But I still want to know what you were doing in Tanya Sorova's apartment last night at 10 o'clock.
Were you there, Frank?
Yes, I was there, but I didn't kill her. She was dead when I found her.
Don't give me that.
Well, you don't know what you're saying, Frank. I demand that this boy be advised of his constitutional rights.
I'll take care of his constitutional rights. This is a murder investigation. Tanya Sorova was killed last night at 10:15. Just 15 minutes after this young man was seen going in her apartment.
That's not true. It's not true, I tell you. She was dead when I found her.
Are you sure of the time, Street?
Your own switchboard operator heard the argument and the report.
They phoned Street in your study, you remember?
Yes, that's right.
All right, Belden, alibi out of that. Come clean.
Why'd you kill her? I didn't, I tell you. I love Tanya. Why would I want to kill her?
I'll tell you why. Because you were jealous. You thought she was double-crossing you, and you went up to her apartment and you quarreled, and then you killed her.
That's a lie. Every word of it's a lie.
So you found your sweetheart murdered, and what did you do? You ran out and hid. Why didn't you call the police?
I don't know. I was half crazy.
Now, see here, Street, this boy is no condition for questioning.
I'll say he isn't, because he doesn't know the answers.
Gentlemen, I suggest that we all calm down. Allow young Mr. Belden to tell us what happened in his own way.
All right. I'm listening.
Now, supposing we go back just a little way, shall we? When did you last see Tanya Sorova alive?
When she promised to marry me. Yesterday afternoon, late.
And where was that?
At her apartment. I was going to take her to dinner, see, but she said she didn't feel well, so I went out and got a bite, and then I drove around a little while.
Yes, and then?
Well, on the way home, I saw a light in the apartment, and I went up to tell her good night.
Are you in the habit of using the back way?
Yeah, I had a key. See, sometimes Tanya wasn't in, and I'd go in and wait for her.
Yeah, but she was in last night. Did you use the key then?
No. No, that's funny. I remember that the door was open.
Hmm? What else do you remember?
Yes, Belden, go on.
Well, I went in and called her, but there was no answer, so I went in the living room, and on the floor I saw her over by the window.
Near the telephone?
I don't know. I didn't see anything but Tanya.
Was there anything else in the room that was unusual, that attracted your attention? Anything at all?
Yes, I remember the radio was on.
Oh, don't kid me. The radio wasn't playing when I got there. If you didn't leave that apartment till before 10:15, where'd you go?
I don't know, I drove around. I don't know where I went. I drove all night.
What? Captain? A fellow out here named Griswold says he's got to see you.
Who's Griswold? What does he want? What does he do?
What do you want to see him about?
Well, I got to talk to him. I'm from radio station LMAB.
He's from a radio station, LMAB.
I don't know anybody from a radio station. Tell him to wait.
And he says you got to wait. All right, come clean. You didn't leave that apartment till after 10:15. After you killed her!
Stop it, I tell you, stop it! Street, you're getting nowhere browbeating the boy this way. Maybe if you let me talk to him quietly somewhere.
All right. I'll talk to him quietly. Would you like to see your father?
No. Why should I want to see him? He's probably glad she's dead.
Why should he be glad? Doesn't he like her?
No.
Did you quarrel over with your father?
Yeah, we had a quarrel and I walked out on him.
And then you walked back last night to his jewelry store and shot him, killed him.
You mean my father's dead?
Stop it, will you? Stop it! What are you trying to do to me? Somebody give me a glass of water.
Oh, never mind the water.
Oh, I protest. Get him a glass of water. Where is it?
Outside.
Something wrong, Captain?
Yeah, give me that brandy.
Now go and sit down. What do you want? Come on, what is this?
Say, what am I supposed to do? Spend the weekend here?
He'll get you.
Mr. Hardway.
The press.
Yes, the press. What do you know today? Pardon me.
What's the matter?
Who is this?
It's the fellow from the radio station, Griswold.
Where'd this paper file come from?
Say, that looks like mine. It's missing from the desk.
All right. Who did it? This is a payoff right in my own office. Stay away from that phone. Start talking, Hardway.
What, again?
Sorry for the interruption, Mr. Wong, but that was a new program, and I want to check on it.
Not at all. It's all most interesting.
Yes, but full of headaches. Replacing Griswold is going to be one of them.
I can quite imagine. His programs were popular, weren't they?
Very. He was a talented young man. Wrote most of the sketches and played all the parts in them.
He played female roles as well?
Oh, yes. In the sketch you want to see, the one he did last night, he played a very emotional feminine role. Here's the manuscript for it.
Thank you. This program went on the air sharply at 10 o'clock?
Oh, yes. Radio works on split seconds. Every program is timed exactly.
And it ran for how long?
15 minutes in all. The sketch went on at 10:01 and finished at 10:14. The balance of the program time was taken up with commercials. That's advertising. Would it disturb you if I turned on this program?
Not at all. I've just finished. I'd like to take this with me.
Oh, perfectly all right.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
On the air, presenting for your entertainment the first mystery thriller in their new series of programs.
How do you do, sir? Can I help you?
Yes. Is this the new remote control radio?
Why, yes, and a very fine instrument, too.
I wonder if you'd be kind enough to give me a demonstration.
I'd be glad to. Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Now, this is the remote control box.
Looks like the dial of an automatic telephone.
And works very much on the same principle. You see, it's not attached in any way to the demonstration radio. However, being in any part of the house and desiring to change the program, we simply switch the dials and the radio automatically switches. I'll show you.
California. Fair Tuesday and Wednesday. Moderate temperature, light to moderate northerly wind off coast.
At just
Northern
what
California,
distance would
fair,
that still
south,
be
and partly
effective?
cloudy.
Guaranteed up to
North
200
portion,
feet.
Tuesday and Wednesday. Rains extreme northwest.
And you can
portions,
shut the radio
morning
off in
fog
the same
coast
way?
and valley.
Oh, yes. Just
Wind
press
off
down
the
on this
coast,
right here.
Becoming southerly and
What, again?
Yeah. Didn't take long for that lawyer to get you and the boys out, did it, Hardway?
Why should it? Say, listen, you can't hang that murder rap on any of us.
Somebody killed Griswold, and 3 of you were there when it happened.
Yeah, and plenty others. That office of yours was a close second to a railroad station. But what's this visit for?
According to ballistics, the same gun killed Serova, Belden, and Grady. Mind if I check yours?
You know I don't carry a gun. I haven't had one around here in years. Come on, search the place. You think if I had one, I would keep it here just to show?
Looks like you're getting a little careless, Hardway. If that gun matches those bullets, it'll be too bad for you. Get that to ballistics.
So you still think I killed Serova while I was in your office, eh?
You could have farmed that rod out. Take him away.
You're making a mistake, Street. Murder is not my racket.
Maybe. We'll wait and see what that ballistic report says. All right, keep your hands right there. Turn around. Oh, Cap Anderson, huh? From Harry Lockett's fishing barge. So this is the seafood you supply this place with, huh?
This is Mr. Wong, Bessie. I'll be experimenting with the phone for a little while, so pay no attention if it rings. Oh, come in, Forbes.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Wong. Well, that is a relief. I was wondering who was up here. Oh, you put that string down past my window.
Yes. When I found the receiver off the stand last night, I had an idea that the switchboard operator was intended to overhear what she heard.
I don't follow you.
I believe that the murderer had a way of forcing her to listen at the right time.
You think that a murderer would deliberately invite a witness to his crime?
He might arrange to have her think she was a witness. With a piece of cord, a telephone, and a radio.
I don't understand.
Now, this radio is a new remote control model. Now, let us assume that a certain radio program exactly fitted a given situation. How easy it would be to tune in the desired station at the right time and be nowhere near the instrument.
Oh, I see. You mean that the crime could have been committed some time before?
Of course. And by any of our suspects who had such cast-iron alibis. Hardway Harry Lockett, for instance, who planted himself in Street's office at the supposed time of the murder. Any of his friends.
Even young Belden?
Even young Belden. He was here at 10 o'clock. Who knows? Perhaps it was his second visit.
You don't believe that, do you?
No.
Nor that any of the others did it, either?
No.
Is that what you were looking for, Mr. Wong?
Yes. And you pulled the cord.
When I went to get the drink.
And when you reached for the cigars?
I turned off the radio by remote control.
Thank you, Mr. Forbes.
Keep away from that telephone. Get over there.
Operator. Oh, hello, Captain.
Hello, is Mr. Forbes in?
I'll see for you.
Operator.
Mr. Forbes doesn't answer.
All right, thanks. Why don't you answer that call?
Well, that's Mr. Wong. He told me not to pay no attention to it.
Mr. Wong?
Yeah, he's up in Mr. Rover's apartment playing with the telephone.
Well, I hope he's having a good time. I'll drop up and see him. Playing with a telephone.
I killed Grady because he was in the way, and Belden because he was getting ready to talk.
Griswold when he recognized his own program, and Tanya Sarova because she knew too much.
No, because she was leaving me for a younger man. It's you who knows too much.
Wong, this is Street.
Just a moment, Street.
What are you doing up here?
Get him up. Over there with him. Well, the two of you. That makes it perfect.
I suppose you'd like to have us turn around so you could give it to us in the back like you gave it to Grady.
Drop that gun. Drop it, I say.
Nice work, kid.
Oh.
Take him, Wong. Oh, Bobby. Bobby. Honey. Bobby.
Yes? Oh, it's all right, Bessie. The experiment's over. You might give me the Herald, will you? Herald? You have a star reporter on your staff, a Miss Roberta Logan. She has just been instrumental in the capture of John Forbes, confessed murderer in the Dan Grady Sarova case. Oh, yes, this is a scoop.
Sergeant, the burning of the Wentworth Castle. Read all about it. Fire at sea, boys. It's terrible. Except 400 lives lost in accidental burning of Wentworth Castle.
It's your latest extra. Millionaire shipping magnate, Cyrus P. Wentworth, suspected of ship explosion. Latest extra, just out.
All my life, I'll see those poor people struggling in the water, drowning.
But it wasn't your fault.
But it was my ship.
My company's investigation absolves you completely of all blame. Now then, if you'll be good enough to sign this paper, we can have it witnessed.
Yes, sir? I want you to witness my signature. This is Victor Martin, our attorney. Martin, meet Mr. Baldwin of the Mercantile Marine Insurance Company.
How do you do? Baldwin? Here's the check, Mr. Wentworth. And if I can be of further service, please call on me. Thank you. Good day, gentlemen.
Anything else, sir? You made the changes in the will?
Oh, yes. I have it with me. Clause 9 is the important one. Everything goes to your daughter, Cynthia.
It's another problem off my mind.
I hope you'll pardon my mentioning this, Mr. Wentworth, but you've been acting very curiously lately. And, well, now this will.
Well, what? Kind of man make his will?
Of course, but if you're thinking of destroying yourself...
Forget about it. Why should I want to commit suicide?
Well, your ship burning and all. I suppose it's been preying on your mind.
But I'm not fool enough to kill myself over it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I suppose you'll be going off to your mountain lodge?
Not yet.
Why not? You mean that matter of the $1.5 million in bonds?
Yes, that's on my conscience, too.
I advised you against accepting that shipment.
I know it. It's the only shady thing I ever did in my life.
Then you'd better go before the Maritime Commission tomorrow and clear the whole thing up.
Vic, are you crazy?
No, it's the only thing to do.
But they'll immediately accuse me of sabotaging my own ship.
You'll have to take that chance. I advised you against it when you first asked me about it. And now I advise you to go before the commission. Don't conceal a thing.
I'll do it. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you in the first place.
It'll come out all right. I'll see you in the morning. We'll go before the commission together. Oh, good day, Mr. Fleming.
Well, how do you do, Mr. Martin?
How's Dick?
Fine, thank you. And yourself?
Never better.
Could I see Mr. Wentworth?
Well, I'll see. Mr. Wentworth, Mr. Fleming Sr.'s here.
Send him in.
Yes, sir. You go in, please.
Thank you. Hello, Cyrus.
So you've come to gloat over me because one of my ships went down.
Oh, you're wrong again, Cyrus. I came to offer you my sympathy and my help.
I don't need your sympathy, and I can't conceive of any help you could offer.
Then why can't you see that the consolidation of our two shipping lines would be of benefit to both of us?
Get this, Fleming. I'll see my ships all burned before I'll put up with you.
All right, all right. What about our kids?
And if you think that you can worm your way into my business through a family marriage, you've got another guess coming.
Yeah, but my boy has no part.
You've never done anything in your life, Fleming, without an ulterior motive. All I ask you to do is to keep your office of consolidation away from here, and to keep your boy away from my girl.
Hello, Mr. Fleming.
Hello, Miss Reed. Can I see Mr. W.?
Well, I think so. Your father's in there.
Dad?
Yes.
Cyrus, you're a hard-headed, stubborn old fool.
Well, Dick.
Hello, Dad. What are you doing here?
Oh, I came to offer old Cyrus my condolences.
I can Just imagine how you made out.
And if you're calling on him about what I think you are, I hope you get a better reception.
Don't worry about me, Dad. I can shout, too.
It's about Cynthia, isn't it?
That's right. She's waiting at the truck for me. Regardless of the outcome in there, we're going to get married even if we have to run away to do it.
Well, at least you have my blessing, son.
Thanks, Dad.
I'm sorry, but he won't see you.
He won't, eh? Mr. Wentworth, I have something important to tell you.
Your father's too old to throw out of here, but you're not.
Now,
Get out.
Wait a minute, Mr. Wentworth. I came here to discuss something that...
I'm not interested.
All right, I'll put it this way. I want to marry Cynthia.
No, that's clear, isn't it?
Hardly. What's your objection to me?
Your father.
My father isn't marrying Cynthia.
Neither is his son.
Oh, Mr. Fleming, I'm glad to see you.
How are you, Matthews?
All right, Miss Reed, you may go.
Sorry to hear about the ship.
Yeah, that was a terrible thing.
to get married.
No, it's not so much the loss of the ship as the loss of lives.
There's nothing genuine in you. Like father,
I wonder who that could be.
My boy, bearding the lion in his bed.
Try marrying her against my will, and I'll break you in two sooner or later.
We're not going to let you browbeat us. Cynthia and I have gone over this very carefully. And there's nothing you can do to stop us.
Oh, isn't there?
The conversation was evidently in reference to his daughter.
Get out.
I think I'll wait for the outcome.
You that you can't get away with this sort of thing in this day and age.
Cyrus. He's dead. Did you call the police?
No, it just happened.
You gentlemen stay here.
Hi, Cynthia. How are you? Fine, Bobby. What'll you have?
Same as you.
Martini, please.
Well, what's up?
Bobby, I want you to forget your newspaper woman for once. You're going to do a favor for me.
Mm-hmm. What's it this time?
Can you keep a secret?
Secret. Now I know it's a story. What is it?
Oh, please, Bobby, we need your help.
We?
Yes, Dick and I. Oh, I get it. So you're going to be married.
Well, I'll give you a swell break in the paper.
Oh, but I don't want you to print anything about it, at least until it's all over. That's why I called you. You're going along with us. You mean you want me to stand up with you?
Well, always a bridesmaid. When do we start?
As soon as I hear from Dick, he's up with Father now, telling him about it. Even if we can't get Father's consent, we're going to do it anyway.
An elopement. Oh, boy, what a spread that'll be. But my paper gets this story exclusive.
It's a deal.
Wentworth, telephone call for you.
Keep your fingers crossed. What's the damage?
Let's see, that will be $4.
What'd she do? Buy the place?
No, that's the price. $1 a cocktail.
Well, I better take the pearl. Keep the change.
Thank you.
Bobby. Oh, Cynthia, look, why? What's the matter? It's about Father. Something's happened.
Calling Mr. Wagner. Calling Mr. Wagner.
Any trace of the gun, Mike?
Not yet, Cap.
Did you find anything, Blake?
No.
What's new, Doc?
Died almost instantly. A bullet in the heart. Job for the coroner.
Sure. Open and shut case. This is one time I got the murderer dead to rights. What time did you say that Fleming boy arrived?
6:10.
You sure of that?
Absolutely. Everybody else had left.
Were you here then?
Yes.
That cinches it.
If you mean my son, he didn't do it.
You're the boy's father, aren't you?
Yes?
Well, we can't take your word for it. The evidence proves it. You said you heard loud voices.
Yes.
Where were you when you heard the shot?
I was out there. I was just about to leave.
And your son thought you were out there.
No, he thought I had gone.
Where would he be now?
Well, I don't know.
You don't seem very certain about that. You haven't got an appointment to meet him later, have you?
No.
What were you and your son doing here?
Well, I came here to offer my condolences to Mr. Wentworth over the loss of his ship.
What was the boy doing here?
He came to ask Mr. Wentworth's permission to marry his daughter.
Oh, that's it. They had a quarrel and the kid killed him. That's all I want to know. Blake.
Yes, Chief.
Did you phone him and have him broadcast that kid's description?
Yes.
Because I'm going to have him picked.
Mr. Fleming, what is it?
My dear, your father...
What's happened to Father?
Please, you must be brave. Please.
Who are you?
She's Cynthia Wentworth.
Quiet, Logan.
I'm Cynthia Wentworth. Who are you?
Captain Street of the Homicide Squad.
Homicide Squad?
Yeah, where's Dick Fleming?
Dick? Isn't he here? What's happened? Please tell me.
Cynthia. Don't butt in.
All right, Bill. Bobby, Oh, Cynthia, darling. Bobby, it's something terrible, isn't it? Oh.
Calling all cars, calling all cars. General broadcast to all stations. Be on the watch for Richard Fleming, about 22, 5'8", light complexion, brown hair, wearing light sport clothes. Was last seen in the vicinity of the Wentworth building. He's wanted for murder. Don't take any chances. He may be armed and dangerous. That is all.
You're Richard Fleming, aren't you?
That's right.
You're under arrest for murder. I want to advise you anything you say may be used against you. Mike, look the car over.
Yes.
But you must. There's nothing more important than this. Oh, you've got to do it. Yes. All right, I'll get it. Bye. Listen, Cynthia. Oh, Mr.
Matthews.
I was wondering if I could have the passenger list on the boat for my paper.
Of course.
Thank you. Cynthia, I've got some wonderful news for you. James Lee Wong, the famous Chinese detective, is going to be special investigator on the case. I worked with him before, honey, and you've got nothing to worry about. He's terrific. Oh, good. Thank you, Bobby.
Here you are.
Oh, thank you. I'll keep in touch with you, honey. Hi, Casey. Captain Street in?
Now, wait a minute, Miss Logan. You're not going to get past me this time. Captain Street gave strict orders no one's going in.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't think of going in without your permission. What's up?
They picked up the Fleming lad for the murder of old man Wentworth. The captain's got him in there now.
Oh, boy, this is worth waiting for.
How many times do I have to tell you I didn't do it?
Everybody knows that you and your father were enemies of Wentworth. That you had a quarrel with Wentworth because he wouldn't let you marry his daughter. Is that right?
Suppose it is. That still doesn't mean I killed him.
No, but you were the last one with him when he was killed. We can establish that. Yeah, and why didn't you take the elevator down?
Elevator? Well, it was only on the second floor. It was after hours. I didn't think anything of walking down.
It won't hold water. Why didn't you leave for the outer office?
Mr. Wentworth showed me to the hall.
Did you know your father was waiting?
No.
Why don't you come clean, kid, and I'll do all I can to help you.
I don't want your help. I'm innocent, I tell you.
So you're innocent. I'm with you there. How are you going to prove your innocence?
I don't know.
What'd you do with the gun?
Gun? I didn't have a gun.
What about this permit issued to you 6 months ago?
Oh, we had a series of robberies in our neighborhood, and I was granted a permit at the time. I forgot about that. It's been in my study desk at home. I never used it.
Then the gun should still be there.
That's correct.
What would you think if I told you I had a man checking that the gun is gone?
Gone?
Look, your own father admits that you were having a violent quarrel with Wentworth at the time of the shooting. Now, if you didn't kill him, you know who did.
I don't know anything about it.
Did you shoot him in self-defense?
No.
Kill him in a fit of insanity?
I didn't shoot him, I tell you.
Look, son, don't you see we've established a motive? We've established the fact that you were with Wentworth at the time he was killed. You haven't got a leg to stand on. Now, why don't you make a complete confession?
I didn't do it.
Lock him up, boys.
Hello, Bill.
Now, wait a minute.
All right. What do you want?
What's the story?
Have you printed anything yet?
No, I'm giving you a break, Bill. I'm holding out until I get all the facts.
Well, it's lucky for you, because this is one case I've washed up in a hurry.
Well, what's the story?
Now, this is the way it ought to be printed. Take it down. 2 hours after Cyrus P. Wentworth, well-known shipping magnate, was found shot to death in his office, Captain William Street of the Homicide Squad, acting with lightning-like speed, arrested and charged with first-degree murder the socially prominent son of Paul Fleming, long-standing enemy of the Wentworth interest. Well, you haven't taken anything down.
Oh, I've got the most important part. The lightning-like speed of Captain Street.
Now, look, this case is closed. I've got that kid dead to rights.
Mr. Wong, I hope I'm not intruding.
Wong, what's brought you here?
I phoned him.
Are you butting into my business again?
Sure. I knew you'd arrested the wrong man. You always do.
Now, you listen to me.
I just thought I'd like to check into a few details, Treat. You don't mind, I'm sure.
You're wasting your time, Wong.
Well, time is cheap for those who have it to spend.
Okay. If you can prove to this nosy reporter that I'm right.
Did you get the list?
Yes.
What list?
I asked Miss Logan to get me a list of the passengers who were on the Wentworth Castle when she was burned.
Say, you haven't got a notion that the burning of the Wentworth Castle had anything to do with that Fleming kid killing Wentworth, have you?
Well, I've no preconceived notions.
That's more than I can say for you, Bill.
Interesting.
What's interesting?
A number of the passengers were Chinese. That'll bear investigation, Street.
Why?
Well, you know the burning of the ship was rather suspicious in the first place. It may be that the relatives of those who were lost have an idea of revenge.
Oh, for the love of Mike. You mean to tell me that I've got the relatives of 400 drowned people as suspects?
I'm afraid so, Street. At any rate, it won't hurt to investigate this list.
Have at it.
Is your car here?
Yes, downstairs. Where can I take you?
May I borrow Miss Logan?
You can have her for keeps.
When we get through with the case, the homicide squad will be the used car squad.
Yes, Captain Street.
Have Blake follow Mr. Wong and Miss Logan. I don't want anything to happen to Mr. Wong.
Is this the place?
No. But you stay here and wait for me. I'll be back in a few minutes. It's Logan.
The Honorable Wong is here on personal business or in his official capacity?
I am here on behalf of the police. You heard of the burning of the Wentworth Castle.
An unfortunate disaster.
Do you recognize the names of any of our countrymen on this list?
One, Kai Ling, a most trusted member of our town.
I've no desire to pry into the affairs of the town. But I would like to know the reason of his journey.
He was on a secret mission for the town.
And what was the nature of his mission?
Kai Ling was bringing $1.5 million in gold bonds from Havana.
Why?
Conditions in our country are such that we had to bring the town funds to this country for safekeeping. It had to be done secretly to avoid international complications.
So they were being smuggled in aboard the Wentworth Castle.
Yes.
But Kai Ling was amongst the survivors. So of course you have the bond.
No. Kai Ling has disappeared.
You know, of course, that the owner of the Wentworth Castle is dead.
No member of this town is guilty of such a deed.
And no one else had any idea of the existence of the bonds?
No one else. Unless perhaps a rival town. But we can't be sure.
No. Thank you.
Gee, I'm glad you're back.
Get that car, Tom.
You're hurt.
Hurts nothing.
What is this, a tongue war?
Might be.
Well, get in with Father.
Not necessary. The police are after us.
Well, come on. We're going to the receiving hospital.
Give me the bottle, please. And this, Walter. Yes.
You might have used a red-hot poker. This is a ridiculous fuss over a simple flesh wound.
Now, never mind. We're not going to take any chances of infection. We've got to have at least one intelligent detective working on the case.
How is it, Doc?
Oh, just a flesh wound. Now, keep this in a sling for 3 days.
Very well.
All right, Wong. Who shot you?
Could have been an accident.
Did I ask you? All right, who did it?
I don't know.
Now, look, Wong. I had Blake follow you. He saw that guy pull up in that black car and take a shot at you, and he chased him.
Well, then you know what happened. Who was it?
I don't know. The car was wrecked, and when he got there was nobody in it.
It must have been a phantom.
Doesn't make any difference who it was. The next time you get any wild ideas like this and don't tip me off, there's going to be trouble. I don't need you on this case, but I might need you on a future one.
So you still think you've solved it, huh?
Yes, I do. Young Fleming didn't. And if he didn't, I'll eat my hat.
I'll see that you do.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. Come again.
I hope not.
Well, Miss Reed, I'll see all callers.
Well, Matthews?
Mr. Fleming, I'm very happy to know that you've taken over the business.
Well, thanks. Too bad we couldn't have merged before Cyrus died.
Yes, isn't it a pity?
We're going to expect you to carry on as usual, Matthews.
Thanks. It's an honor to be associated with you.
By the way, I'd like to have a digest of the last 6 months' business.
Yes, sir. I'll tend to it right away. So that's where you put it. I knew I saw it on the floor. Be rather awkward for you if the police knew.
It would be awkward for my son. He was in here just before Cyrus committed suicide.
Before?
Yes. And it was suicide, Matthews.
It could have been. I could swear it was for a consideration.
How much?
It should be worth a partnership and $25,000. Is the deal?
Who's in there?
Why, Mr. Matthews, Mr. Fleming.
Is it?
Oh, Captain Street.
Hello, Mr. Fleming. Special Investigator Wong. Mr. Fleming, kid's father.
How do you do? How do you do, Mr. Wong? I've been told that you're going to try to clear my son.
Who told you that?
Miss Logan, a friend of my son's fiancée.
Oh, Wentworth's daughter, huh? You know, old man Wentworth didn't sanction this thing. Drove the kid to desperation. Too bad you had to hear the argument. What did Wentworth say that made the kid shoot him?
How could I be of service?
Well, first of all, we'd like to know what you're doing in this office.
Well, Miss Wentworth asked me to take over her father's business.
Been waiting a long time for that, haven't you?
Yes, but I didn't commit murder to get my wish.
So you had your son do it, isn't that right?
I was a business rival of Mr. Wentworth, but I was not his enemy.
Of course not. I understand that you were amongst the first to find the body. Now, just where was it?
I should say about here.
Any signs of violence or struggle?
No.
You read the police report, Wong?
Yes, but things can be rearranged, you know. By any chance, was there any evidence of that?
No, I stayed here until the police came, and nothing was disturbed.
I can vouch for that.
And so neither of you left the room?
No, sir.
Were you out there?
Yes, sir.
Hear loud voices?
Yes.
To see these two men threaten each other?
I couldn't see them. The door was closed.
You know, your boss left a lot of enemies.
No, a lot of friends.
Would you say that this man and his son were friends?
Yes, I would.
What would Wentworth say to that statement?
Well, Mr. Wentworth didn't consider a competitor a friend.
Oh, bitter against him, huh? Particularly his biggest competitor. Hated him. And this man and his son hated Wentworth.
I couldn't say as to that.
But you would say that the boy killed him.
No, on the contrary.
Who did?
I couldn't tell you.
Did you say that he was a suicide?
Well, he was quite despondent, sir.
You've been with this office a long time, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
Probably mentioned in the will.
Well, I wouldn't know, sir.
Who would?
His attorney, Mr. Martin.
Suicide clause in that insurance contract would cancel it, wouldn't it?
I dare say.
So you took the trouble to hide the gun?
Oh, no, sir.
Here's the list, Mr. Wong.
What list?
What do you care? You caught the killer, didn't you?
I asked the names of all the callers in the office yesterday. A man named Ludlow and a countryman of mine named Lem Howe. I suppose you saw them.
Lem was Mr. Wentworth's personal servant. Ludlow was discharged chauffeur.
Meaning nothing. You say he was discharged?
Yes, sir. He came to plead for his job back.
What time was that?
Early in the day, sir.
Shall we go, Street? Thank you very much, sir.
See, Wong, they're trying to clear that kid.
I'll make you eat your hat yet.
Found him on the fire escape, Chief.
Yeah, who are you?
Chief of police?
Why, he's the Wentworth chauffeur.
What were you doing on the fire escape?
Parking my car.
Hard to get along with, huh?
No, I just don't get chummy with strangers.
That's so? Ever seen one of those? Seen a lot of them, haven't you? Don't like cops at all. You better start talking or I'll lock you up.
What for?
Prowling.
And why were you discharged?
Why, I was a bad, bad boy. I got drunk.
And when was that?
A month ago.
Are you looking for trouble?
No. I'm just trying to find some clue to help the Fleming boy.
Oh. What's your interest in him?
I'm Miss Cynthia's chauffeur now.
Oh, aced yourself right back in again, huh? All right, you can go, but don't leave town. Tail him. Right. Tough customer, that one.
Oh, I never did like him. I wish Cynthia hadn't hired him. I'm going to make her fire
No,
him.
why don't you mind your own business? You're always butting into things that don't concern you.
You sure can stand a lot of rough talk. The talk is big enough.
Can I drop you anyplace, Wong?
Well, I know where you can drop me.
Yeah, so do I on your head.
Oh, no, Fleming. It's gone.
I'm very glad to meet you, Mr. Wong. Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Cynthia told me you were on the case.
A very curious case, Mr. Martin.
Dick is incapable of committing murder.
I quite agree with you. Is there anybody else that you suspect?
I know of no one to suspect. I wish I did for Dick's sake.
You were very close to Mr. Wentworth, weren't you? Closer than anyone. He gave me my start. I owe him whatever success I've had. You saw him shortly before his death, didn't you? Within the very hour. Was anything said at that time that might help us? No. Matter of his insurance policies on the ill-fated ship. But I believe they're going to be paid.
They have. He's been completely exonerated.
Then he obviously wasn't worrying about that.
He had been under a strain ever since the disaster. In fact, I was afraid that he contemplated doing away with himself.
Really? Why?
Because I'd just made out a new will, which he signed then, seeming anxious to get it over with.
Suicide? Might be, but then there's the matter of the gun. He could hardly dispose of that if he had a bullet in his heart.
Might not someone else have taken it to conceal that it was suicide?
I see what you mean. The boy, for instance. Perhaps thinking of the girl.
Heavens, no. Put himself on a spot? I doubt if any man is capable of that much chivalry.
It's true, isn't it, that the company was in rather low water, even before the Wentworth Castle was burned?
I thought no one outside knew that.
Well, I gathered that from the stock market quotations.
Conditions are not entirely due to the times. In fact, large sums of money have been disappearing from the company funds.
Oh. And who knew that besides you and Mr. Wentworth?
Matthews.
He had access to the funds?
Yes, but he's been tireless in his efforts to stop the leak.
I can quite understand that.
Oh, I'm reluctant to believe. Matthews was in the same room with Fleming when the shot occurred.
But Fleming may have turned his back just for the moment that it took to open the door and fire the shot.
With Matthews in the same room?
If you'll send for your secretary, I'll give you a demonstration.
Oh, certainly.
Yes, sir.
Miss Wilson, this is Mr. Wong.
How do you do?
How do you do? If you'll sit down, please. If you don't mind, I'm going to try a little experiment with these two coins. Now, it's not going to hurt you. Now, just close your eyes, and I'll snap these two coins. In front of your head, behind your head, and over your head. And you tell me where the sound comes from.
All right.
Are your eyes closed?
In back of my head. In front. Still in front.
Thank you very much.
Well, was I right?
Not once.
Was there something wrong with me?
Well, hardly.
That certainly is one for the book. I wonder. Maybe Dick...
So he was in the room with Mr. Wentworth?
I don't know, but I'll make him tell.
But don't say a word about the coin trick. We may need that in the defense. Thank you very much, Mr. Martin.
Scott, it's you, Mr. Wong. Didn't I see someone at the fire escape?
You did. It was someone who'd been opening the safe.
The safe? Did you recognize him?
It was too dark.
Well, we'd better call the police.
No, I don't believe I would if I were you.
But we can't afford to overlook a single clue. Dick's case is getting hopeless.
I know, but please don't lose confidence in me. I assure you, Miss Wentworth, we are not going to lose your case.
Thank you, Mr. Wong.
Funny he didn't make an effort to stop him. Look here, Cynthia. I don't like this prowling around at night. I might have put a bullet through him. Oh, I'm sorry.
After all I've done for you, you might at least show a little gratitude. Oh, you're not pulling any wool over my eyes, Bill Street. You're up to one of your tricks, and I'm going to find out what it is if I have to camp here all night.
No, why don't you leave me alone? I've told you 1,000 times I'm not holding out any news stories on you.
Well, then where's Wong?
Oh, I know. I'm not his mother.
Street, you got Ludlow?
Yeah. You want him?
Yes, I'd like to talk to him.
Blake, bring Ludlow in.
So you were holding out on me, huh? Well, what is this about Ludlow? Come on, tell me.
All right. So my men did pick him up, but I haven't got a thing on him.
Oh, don't lie on me.
Now, wait a minute. This female reporter's driving me batty. Look, sweetheart, Mr. Wong and I crave secrecy. We want to be alone.
I don't get the hint.
You don't get the hint. Logan, one of these days I'm going to get my hands on that lily white neck of yours and...
Here he is, Chief.
So we meet again, Mr. Ludlow.
The pleasure's all yours. Nice of your boys to park their car right underneath my fire escape.
Do you room and board on that fire escape?
Oh, now, Miss Logan, why be your usual sweet, nasty self?
Anytime you want a character reference, just come to me.
Oh, sure. You see, we're both the same type. You write lies, and I tell them.
Bill Street, are you going to stand for that?
Sure. Well, sit down, Ludlow. Thanks, Commissioner, I will.
You know, you'd save us a great deal of trouble if you just answer one question.
I'll answer anything you ask, but don't expect the truth.
Well, I'm quite sure you could tell the truth just once, if you really tried.
You'd be a fool to believe anything I told you.
You know who killed Wentworth. What was on that piece of paper that you burned up?
Now, who'd ever think that someday I'd be telling the truth?
What name did you read on that piece of paper?
I don't know nothing about nothing.
You know, I can have you sent up for safe breaking.
It was open when I got there.
I'm afraid you forget that I was there.
Oh, then you opened it. Oh, why, Mr. Wong.
I'm quite serious about sending you up.
And so am I. Now, get this. I didn't kill the old man, and I didn't see it done. And I ain't making any wild guesses as to who did it. If I find out, I'll give you the tip. The sooner you quit tailing me and interfering with me, the sooner you're going to get that tip, and that's the truth.
Ha, ha.
Lock him up.
No, Street. I think I'd let him go.
You don't believe that crook, do you?
Yes, I do.
All right, get out of here.
Thanks for the interview. Hope I didn't help you any.
Blake.
I know what he's up to, Street, but I think we can anticipate it.
Hey, have you got something up your sleeve?
Well, there's an answer to every riddle, you know, and I think perhaps this is it.
What is that? Ashes. Oh, look, we're trying to solve a murder, and you're carrying ashes around.
Is that going to tell us who killed Wentworth?
No, but it may be a clue as to the reason of the killing, and once we know that, we are very close to knowing the identity of the killer. We'll need some infrared film, Street.
You better use a photographic lab.
Right.
Well, what's infrared film for?
Photograph the ashes, and I hope to bring out the writing on them.
Oh, but how?
Look, dummy. Infrared film is sensitive to wavelengths of light beyond the human eye.
Fascinating.
Who, me?
No, the other negative.
You look good, too, in the dark.
Find anything, Wong?
Not yet. It's rather faint.
There goes the clue.
Well, I found one name. Kai Ling.
He was one of the passengers.
Yeah, we heard that before.
Kai Ling.
Let's make another negative.
Well, why? We've got all we need. We have Kai Ling's name. James Lee Wong speaking. Have you a record of Kai Ling? I'd like his address, please. 19 Queen Street on the waterfront. Thank you.
You want him?
Yes.
I'll pick him up myself. And don't phone your editor. I'll tip you off when.
Now, you make another negative and print of that, and don't let anybody see it but me.
All right, Mr. Wong.
Better turn your lights off.
No one's home, Bill. Let's go.
Why don't you see if some windows are open?
Who, me?
Yeah. I thought you newspaper gals were brave.
Yeah, and I thought a man as big as you could break in a front door.
Come on, Braveheart. You stay out of my way and quit following me. Yeah, it's me. Logan. Bobby. What's the matter?
In there.
See if you can find a light. This guy's cold.
Doesn't work.
Light that candle.
Do you think it's Kyling?
Just a minute. Is your name Kyling? How do I know who he is?
Well, it's a story anyway. Bobby Logan discovered...
Bobby Logan discovered nothing. I'll tell you when to print the story. Will you stay away from me? Will you let go of me? Stay where you are. Wong. What'd you send me for if you were coming down here?
But I'm not Street. I'm coming up.
Very funny.
Afraid I gave Miss Logan rather a shock.
Thanks.
You're sure this is the right address that they gave us over the telephone?
Yeah.
Ah. Kai Ling was a passenger on the Wentworth Castle. He lives here on the waterfront. I think he's in the smuggling business.
You mean he was in the smuggling business? Come on. Exhibit A.
A very old dynasty.
Who, this guy?
Very strange thing, Street, that the rest of the house should be empty while this room is elaborately furnished. He must have been a person of considerable importance.
Yeah, and he had something important or they wouldn't have murdered him.
Just help me turn his head so that we can see his face. Been dead for some days. You know, this is the right address that they gave us. This must be Kai Ling.
Bell Street, what do you mean leaving me downstairs unconscious?
That's nothing new.
Oh, that's Lem Howe, the missing Wentworth servant.
How do you know?
Oh, I've seen him lots of times. He killed Wentworth and then committed suicide.
Sure, stabbed himself in the back. You're still unconscious.
Street, do you suppose that Kai Ling and Lem Howe are one and the same person?
Bill.
Where'd you get that stuff?
I phoned Miss Wentworth and she sent it.
You sure you didn't phone her?
Bill Street. Of course I didn't.
You know, you made me a promise.
Well, I kept it.
This story breaks out.
Sorry, Street, but I'm afraid it's broken already.
How could it?
Well, you see, Miss Logan was with me when I telephoned Miss Wentworth. And she said it's too bad this story can't be published. It might influence public opinion in favor of Dick. And I'm afraid Miss Wentworth heard it.
So you shouted, huh?
Well, I didn't talk direct.
Street? It's the same handwriting. Lem Howe and Kai Ling are one of the same person. We have something here.
Yeah, a Chinese puzzle.
Then Lem Howe did do it. Cynthia said that he and her father had an argument a short time ago.
Quiet. Wong, if this Lem Howe...
I've got as much right as this discussion as you have.
Will you be quiet?
Well, I found the corpse, didn't I?
All right. Finish what you're going to say, will you?
Well, I did finish. It's simple.
Sure you're simple.
He shot Wentworth and then killed himself.
Just stabbed himself in the back, huh?
Well, Wong, an Oriental would, wouldn't he? You know, commit Harry or whatever you call it.
Harry. Hello, Street speaking. What? Yeah. Okay. Suicide, huh? Come here, Wong. This is a pip. I had an autopsy performed. They found a bullet wound underneath the dagger. They traced the bullet through the body into the hip. And that bullet came from the same gun that killed Wentworth. Yeah?
Miss Wentworth and Mr. Martin. Shall I send them in?
Wait a minute. Oh, that's swell. That's fine. Now you got that Wentworth gal on my neck. Now get this, Bobby. This is strictly between us. If a word of this gets out, something's going to happen, and I'm not fooling.
Okay, Bill.
I'm not going to try and pin this on the Fleming kid. It's a little far-fetched that he'd commit a couple of murders the same day. But I am going to check on his whereabouts that morning, if only to protect him. Now listen, Dizzy. I'm going to leave you alone with him. I want you to get that information, and I'm not fooling. You understand?
Yes?
Casey, have Fleming brought up. Come here. Hello, Mark.
Bobby, Cynthia, how are you? Have you found anything?
A great deal. Well, that is good news. Whatever it is, don't delay. Anything to postpone the hearing. I've done my best, but I'm stymied by a mountain of circumstantial evidence.
I can realize that. I'm afraid your servant, Lem Howe, is dead, Miss Wentworth.
Lem? Dead?
It may have a bearing on the case. He was found in an old house in the Chinese Quarter. He'd been murdered.
Murdered? It must be someone who's determined to destroy the entire household. In heaven's name, Captain, don't let this girl go around without a bodyguard.
You're right. I'll arrange for one.
But no one... And fire that chauffeur. It gives me the chills. I haven't seen him for 24 hours. I guess he's fired himself.
Why'd you take him back?
He promised to stay sober and to help Dick. And two, he said I could use a bodyguard.
Great guns. I'd rather have a rattlesnake following me.
Oh, Dick.
Cynthia.
I'm going to leave you alone for a quarter of an hour. No one will bother you. Come on, Wong.
Are you all right?
Of course I am, my darling.
Dick, you can come clean on something now. I've got to know. It may be a chance of proving your innocence. If you were in that office when the shot was fired, you've got to say so.
If I was, I would have seen the killer.
No, you might only have heard the shot.
Well, I certainly would have known where it came from.
Not necessarily, as Wong can demonstrate. I know, I've seen him do it. You were there, weren't you?
Yes. I was stunned. The outer hall door had been opened by Mr. Wentworth when he asked me to leave. When he fell at my feet, I turned into the hall and ran to intercept whoever had done it. When I returned, unsuccessful, I saw people running into the outer office, and I knew at once I'd be accused. So I beat it for home. If I tell that to the court, the walls and all would fall down on top of me.
If you'd only told me this before, we might have had something to go on. The open door, fingerprints. Concentrate. Can't you remember having seen someone?
But I didn't see anybody.
Dick, where were you before you went to the Wentworth office?
That morning, I took Cynthia to get a good view of the burnt ship. Lem was there. He'd lost a cousin or somebody. Then I drove Cynthia to the truck, and I took Lem into Chinatown.
Chinatown? Oh, Dick.
Well, so what?
You took Lem to Chinatown, and no one's seen him alive since. Oh, big lug. It's a frame-up. Dick, you're going to escape.
Bobby.
Go out that door. My car's in the alley and the keys are in it. Take Cynthia with you and go on home. No one will ever look for you there.
Stop. Do you want him to hang himself completely?
It'll give us more time.
Dick, if you're going through with this mad impulse, wait till I'm out. I'd be disbarred if I were a witness to it.
Well, then go on.
All right.
Go on. Hurry up. I'll meet you later. Go on.
Nice work, baby, nice work. I got just what I wanted, just what I wanted. Wonder what happened to that mic. Oh, I guess somebody tripped over it. Where'd they go?
Well, they finished and left.
That's so? You ought to have your head examined. That's been open all the time.
You heard everything?
Sure. And we're going to join him for tea later, as soon as he digs up that gun.
Why, you big baboon.
Oh, I've got the Fleming place covered. Anybody can get in, but nobody can get out.
What?
Oh, no, you don't. Nothing but a divorce can separate us now.
We'd have to get married to get a divorce, and I wouldn't marry
If I were the last man on earth, I know. Sit down.
Dick! You're out on bail?
No, he's escaped.
Escaped. Dick, you've convicted yourself.
I'm convicted as it is. The police, Martin, everyone thinks I haven't a chance. Why shouldn't I run away?
Well, don't you see? You're confessing your guilt.
What's the difference? Everybody thinks I'm guilty. You've got to get me out of here. You've got to get a plane for me.
No. Go back.
I'm not a quitter, but I haven't anything to fight with. I can't fight locked in a stinking jail.
Go back, son.
You won't help.
No.
You think I did it too, don't you, Dad?
Now, don't say that to me.
Dick, please. It was Bobby's idea to give Wong more time.
You have nothing to fear, son. I can clear you.
How?
If it looks like a conviction, I'll tell the court who did it and how it was done.
You know?
Upstairs. Who is it?
Matthews.
Well?
I thought he'd just as well fire away when the trial opens. Have you the balance?
No.
I phoned you long before the banks closed.
No more money for you, Matthews.
Are you forgetting that what you did means your son's finished? They'll hang him.
I'm not paying you anymore.
Shall I call the police?
I'll save you the trouble.
See, I wouldn't do that if I were you. You're making a mistake.
Could I have the Detective Bureau, please? Detective Bureau?
You're making a terrible mistake, Fleming.
I'd like to speak to Captain Street.
Hello?
Captain Street? This is Fleming.
Yes, Mr. Fleming.
Captain, my son did not kill Cyrus Wentworth. If you'll come to my house, I'll tell you who did it.
Hello, Mr. Fleming. Hello. I heard a shot.
A shot?
Where's the car? In the alley.
Somebody shot Fleming.
Anybody leave?
No, they're all in there.
How is he?
Bad wound, but it's not fatal.
Fleming, this is Captain Street. What were you trying to tell me on the phone?
I killed Cyrus Wentworth.
Ted, you don't know what you're saying.
All right, I'm listening.
Matthews saw me do it. I've had to pay him for his silence.
Oh, so he shot you. Well, just relax. The doc will be here in a minute.
Ted, you're not telling the truth. He's only trying to protect me.
Take it easy, kid. Just hold everything. I'll get to the bottom of this. Well, you heard what he said.
Yes.
Did you see him kill Wentworth?
No.
What do you mean, no?
Well, he might have. I don't know. But I did see him hide the gun.
So you used that to blackmail him, huh? That's all I want to know. Well, that eliminates the Fleming kid.
And pins it on the father.
I overheard your very fine gesture, Mr. Fleming. Quite unnecessary. Mr. Ludlow.
Well, the pleasure
is still mine. You got past me in the garden, didn't you? But fortunately for Mr. Fleming, your aim was not as good as when you killed Kyling and Mr. Wentworth.
I killed Wentworth.
Of course you did. From across the hall through the open door, and then you threw the gun into the room. And you hoped to implicate young Fleming.
No, you're making that up out of your head.
Am I? And I suppose I'm imagining that you had to destroy the agreement between Kyling and Wentworth.
What agreement?
That piece of paper that you were burning in the office that night. Your name was on it.
My name was not.
Your name was on it as a witness,
It
wasn't
was not.
That's right. Wentworth showed me the paper. It was his signature.
Why, you double-crossing...
There's your man, Street.
Take him, Mike.
So you were partners. Well, I really am surprised that a professional like you would team up with an amateur like this. Here's the gun, Street. I traced it to him. And here's the reproduction of the burned agreement with Martin's signature on it. I'm sorry I had to hold that out on you, but...
There's only one thing I regret.
I know that you didn't kill me that night in Chinatown when you shot at me.
Take him out, boys.
Well, Street, we've done it again.
Yeah, sure. Why, the first day in the office, I had this whole thing doped out. Yeah. What am I doing?